Okay, hello everybody. Here we are again for another great session. We have Tom Winkler about to go on stage now, so I would like to welcome Tom. How are you?
I'm good, Rita, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. So Tom is Senior Software Engineering Manager at Webfleet Solutions, an exhibitor company today at Tech Jobs Fair, Germany. So you bring a very relevant and quite often discussed topic these days, mobility. So you've got your presentation ready, and I would say we can start, right? The stage is yours.
Thanks a lot, Rita, and thanks also for all the participants in that round. Cool. Let me just quickly tell you a bit about the objective of this presentation and what I want to get over to you. I first want to give you a bit of insight on the future of fleets and how what kind of role fleets play in the future of mobility indeed. I would also like to give you a bit of insight on, okay, what are the products that we are building in Webfleet Solutions and how they play a role in this kind of movement that we see. And also, I hope at the end of the presentation, you have a good sense on and a good grasp on challenges that are ahead of us and where we have a huge appetite for you also to join our company, our mission, and also our endeavors that we do. And even though I met probably many of you already on the round table, what is Webfleet Solution about? It's a kind of fleet management product. And what does it mean? I think for private life, you hardly can imagine what it is. It is really about, okay, give fleet owners a possibility to take care for their fleet, for their vehicles in the field. Imagine yourself, probably some of you own a car, some of you don't. But imagine you have to take care for 10, 15, 20, 30 cars. So how do you make sure those cars are well maintained, in a good shape? They don't run out of fuel. They keep their maintenance intervals as set. How do you make sure this is smoothly operated? And that are areas that we focus on and where we also provide value and where we need you also to join us and developing those solutions in the end. Yeah, and now I would like to take you on a bit of a journey, and let's have a look at the scenery. If you imagine, and if you look at this picture, which shows kind of caravan of camels, think about why do people organize in kind of fleets? How did people back in the days transport goods and valuables, right? Ask yourself, why do they organize that way? Why don't everyone individually picks up his camel, goes to the market, picks up his food, and is done? Yeah, why do they do that? And if you think it through, you will recognize it's a lot about safety in that aspect, right? If you're going in a group, it's much more safer. It's easier to guard. You can hire basically a dog, a sheriff, and so on, and you're good to go, right? It's also about efficiency. If you think it through, it's much more efficient to also streamline the way forward, right? It's reduced on and offboarding time if you think about the places to pick up and to deliver. Also, organizing in fleets gives you, as an operator, much higher bandwidth. If you want to talk in that terms, in a computer science term, it's huge bandwidth. Of course, you still have time to deliver. So you can really increase the load and carry out duties. And in Webfleet Solutions, we also focus on those aspects because this is a pattern that we see that is present for old fleets and new fleets. We focus on the safety aspects of your fleet, on the efficiency, on the reduced on and offboarding time, so really make it optimal for the schedule, and also to organize kind of bandwidth and operational aspect of your fleet. And if you go from that picture to that picture here, then ask yourself, why do you enter a plane to get from A to B? And I make a safe assumption, and you can also put in the chat if that's true, but I make a safe assumption that no one of you actually owns a plane. And why is it? Yeah. And here other aspects come into play, and that is first of all cost of ownership. I would expect for most of us, including myself, it's very much costly to own such a plane. It's also an aspect I don't want to be worried with maintenance and carrying out those kind of duties just to visit New York, Rio, or Tokyo once a year or twice a year. It's also about knowledge. If you think it through, how do you operate such a vehicle and how do you carry out this kind of duties, right? Also that plays a big role, and there is an underlying need for mobility after all. You want to move, I want to move, we want to spend some nice time abroad, and others need to take care of that. And also in Webfleet, we take care of those aspects, and that is also where you come into play and where we need to develop solutions. The cost of ownership is not only relevant to planes, but also to vehicles in general. Maintenance aspects, right? The schedules, when a kind of engine needs to be repaired or inspected, plays a big role, and we have solutions for that one. Knowledge, key aspect also on transport and goods delivery that we target. If you think a lot of drivers, and we have a team specifically focusing on driver management and all the regulations around it, they have limited driving time, they have limited permissions to deliver also risky goods, if you think about those aspects. And that is also where we focus and where our Webfleet also plays a role with. And just again switching the picture now, which is probably more relevant to our current customer base. Why do we organize school and people transfer, right? Why every one of you that has kids or has someone else doesn't bring them on their own to the school or delivers it? Why do we have those services? If you think this aspect through, it's about time saving, right? It's again the safety aspect, because you also do not want to send a foreigner with your kid to school, but you also want to rely on the profession and the service provided. So it's also, again, the safety aspect that we had in the camels. And it's also the efficiency aspects, of course, because at some point you need to balance the time you do not need to spend on bringing your kids to school versus the return you get when you have this time available for work or something like that. And that's, of course, also what we as focus today, specifically time saving, route optimization. I also presented it beforehand in our booth. We have various tools and instruments provided for fleet owners and fleet operators, and that would be also your playground again, using services from TomTom or other navigation systems, nicely integrated to give you that insight. And now, if you think about the future, then we have to ask, or you have to ask yourself also, will fleets play a bigger role in future? And what kind of trends do we see? Because that was the underlying theme on the mobility in the first place that also Rita mentioned. How will mobility evolve in future? And there are two major trends, right, that are ongoing, and that is electrification. And that is also the autonomous aspect of operating vehicles. And also those aspects, think it through. Will they require fleets or won't they? And my personal bet is they will even lead to an effect where you have much bigger fleets, much more consolidated fleets, because the autonomous vehicle that is spending 8, 10, 12 hours in front of your home is probably not well utilized. And you can get much more synergies, much more efficient solutions if you really manage and coordinate those vehicles in a kind of different manner. And that's where you see that the services that we provide today in Webfleet solutions that are covering those aspects, of operational efficiency, about maintenance, that they have an even bigger relevance, and that is probably surprising, in the future when there are no drivers. And even aspects that we have today that are very relevant to drivers will just emerge and will become then more relevant from a compliance and legal point of view. And yeah, so that's to give you a bit of an outlook and perspective, and that's also how I see the world is moving in. And that is really, if you want to leave a footprint, join with us and also shape this future. And I would now take you to basically a bit of product live demo. I hope that comes through. And what you see here is our Webfleet product in the end. So here you see also my vehicle and my tour to Berlin office. Was it a Monday? I actually wanted to pick Tuesday. So that is exactly what you see, what kind of insights we provide. So you know at any time where your vehicle is and where it was. You also get insights on, okay, how well did this guy treat this vehicle? Why did he did this right turn? Should really drive more carefully with our material to not, increase those kind of aspect of tear and wear. But maybe there's also a good reason for it. You never know. Maybe there was a crossing light that he need to pass us on. And in my vehicle, it is basically also Volkswagen, what you see here. We've also mounted kind of telematics device. It's an aftermarket solution, because I also received this question today. It's a telematics device we developed in-house, and that is manufactured in far Middle East. And we do a lot of embedded programming there. We also do a lot of research and reverse engineering to get closer to the vehicle, to the car access network, and really to get information out that is relevant for us to, for instance, present this kind of stuff, this kind of information. Yeah. So that is one area. If you think yourself from a job perspective or from a profession perspective, that is our embedded C++ development corner, I would say. And when this information flows from that vehicle over to this system, there are various backend systems involved. Yeah, we have first of all a Kafka infrastructure now built up that feeds hundreds of millions of thousand data points. Just to also give you here a bit of impression of what it actually means. So that's basically a day pattern that looks 24 hours back. You see, we're talking about roughly 4.5 million floating car data points. That is per 5 minutes here. That's roughly 800,000 points per minute, more or less, that we have to deal with. And that is a huge challenge also for you as a backend engineer to scale. And even though we are on the cloud side of things, and also had made some experiment there with Databricks and so on, still those kind of scalability issues persist. And scale out and scale up is not, not an answer, at least if you still want to serve some customers in a cost-efficient way, to relating back to the cost efficiency aspect. Then we have, of course, what you see. We talked about the devices, the backend part, and what you see here, the entire application. That's a React application, and we're not at 16.13, but I think we're 16.10 or so. Thomas probably knows better than I, but yeah, you see, we are pretty much recent technology, I would say, and we are also taking care to refresh it from time to time and make sure that this stays modern, stays fresh to the art, and is updated continuously. One project I was also personally involved in is also, that is another compliance attribute, is also our video telematics. I just wanted to show it to you because it was a challenge on all fronts. It was an integration challenge, it was a front-end challenge, and it gives good insight, for instance, to our clients, on spot incidents in a city that happened. That is really relevant for commercial fleets. You have to imagine they are caught by the police, and it's not clear who fault was it that this car was hit. With that solution that we provide, we make it crystal clear, for instance, okay, what happened at the scenery. We capture those insights, and we make sure that this information is better. And by doing that, by providing such solutions, we make sure that the fleet that is operated is really operated 24/7, that they get the car back on the road in a timely manner, that they're also operated safely. And of course, for Germany, this kind of aspects might be a bit, not so needed, but there are countries where it's really needed also to give the security to the driver and passengers in that car, with also this kind of video aspects, which was a fun integration aspect, as I said, and that really the technical challenges that we had to deal here on the front end, playing this 2 video streams in parallel. That was a lot of fun. And also similar challenges will await you if you decide to join. That was a bit a short detour to Webfleet, I would say. And with that, I would just see What kind of roles did we tackle it? Yeah, we tackled the hardware development, the front-end development, the back-end development. Now I know what we did not tackle. QA. There's a lot of need for QA guys, as you can imagine. We need to make it super robust, and I should have probably pictured the entire screen in green. We need a lot of support on that front. Every helping hand is needed to make it bulletproof. Again, relating back to the mission and the vision that we serve and the customers we serve, it's really we need to provide business quality. Really, the businesses using our solutions rely on our solution very much, and quality is key on every aspect for us. Also, when you develop and onboard, it's expected from you that you also, make a bit of due diligence and also take care on design quality in the product, in the architecture, and as we go, also make sure that we fix defects if they exist very, very fast with customers. So yeah, help us there if you want. Would be much appreciated.
Thank you, Tom. That was a great presentation. It's always interesting to know in which direction mobility is taking us. Would you like to appear a little bit bigger on the screen? You can close your presentation and we can go for, there you go. Hi. And we can go for a couple of questions now. So I'm going to just put some on the stage now so you can see them as well. This is, something that maybe you can answer real quick. There are possibilities to see insurance information in the software. You showed us a little bit of the platform, how it works. Yeah.
Insurance information. I don't know what the question relates to. That would be good to follow up. There are insurance relevant information, definitely, like mileage, driving hours, those kind of aspects. We also have reports that I didn't jump on, where you can pull a report that proves a certain claim. So that all the information shown is definitely relevant to insurances. One of the business models also behind this solution, because if you prove to use our solution, you get also a huge discount on your insurance for the vehicles, and that's usually So there's proven evidence that this is relevant to the insurance. Are there policies listed? No, there's no direct link to policies or something like that. If that was the intention of the question.
Oh, okay, another question. So who are your primary customers?
Yeah, that's where the primary customers were really those fleets that we tackle. So there can be emergency services, smaller primary customers, how to say it. Really companies that carry goods, carry people, carry transport, that all customers that have kind of organized around fleets. Can be the pizza delivery. We have various of those taxi fleets. Then transport logistics, the classical ones, I would say, bigger trucks companies. Those are all our customers and target groups.
Next one, maybe last one. Let's see. If humanity face up with a geomagnetic storm, how your company can protect your devices? So,
I don't know.
How would you answer this?
I don't think we have a single product that is specifically tested on that one. Would be good to check. I need to say let's test it in an electromagnetic environment. I do know we do a lot of EM. I don't know the English term. Elektromagnetische Verträglichkeit. A lot of testing around that topic. But will that prevent? Will that be resilient? I didn't try it out. I don't know the answer. But
you don't know the answer yet. But you do know the answer. So you have customers, international customers, and you are currently hiring for many places. But in Germany, you're hiring for different cities. Can you a little bit explain that a little bit, maybe to the applicants that are interested in applying? If you have, remote or hybrid models.
Our target is to have you in the office 2 days a week, and that opens up a lot of opportunities because we have offices in Leipzig, in Berlin, that is in the German part, Amsterdam, Warsaw, Barcelona, that are all development hubs that gives you flexibility to move and switch. But yeah, preferably Leipzig, because we have many openings there, and 2 days on site, 3 days remote during the pandemic. And I think now yesterday we received the message, okay, we will also pause this ruling because at some point, safety first, and then hopefully when this is over, 2 days on site, 3 days remote. On the various options, and that gives you a lot of flexibility to move anywhere in Germany or close by, because it's 2 days of traveling, it's not much.
Right. Thank you. All right. So don't forget, you can go deeper into this conversation directly at their booth. So don't forget to go under the booths tab, scroll down, and find Webfleet Solutions team there. Don't be shy. Ask all your questions. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Tom. Dankeschön.
Thanks,
and
Rita.
everybody.
Thanks
see you around for the next talk. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Bye.